and we are channeling what it is that needs to be channeled today. So
Absolutely.
that's the whole point. Good morning, everyone. It is the top of the hour. It is time to get started. Welcome to Unity of Tacoma. For those of you that are tuning in for the first time, I'm so glad you decided to join us today. It's a very exciting day for us. We are starting Faith in Action, and I'll explain that in just a moment. For those of you who are joining in for the umpteenth time, I'm so glad that you decided to join us again and to be able to start this wonderful journey of faith in action this year. So we're looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to just a really great opportunity to explore in this new book that we're reading right now. So, all right. And as people are starting to get back to their places, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Lori Erwin-Johnson. I am the spiritual leader for today, and I use the pronouns she and her. And so if you are interested in contacting me in any way, you can contact me at lori@unityoftacoma.org. My talk title today is Your Soul's Infinite Journey. And it is Beyond the Seen, SEEN. So it's going to be focusing on what it is, that chapters, the introduction and the chapter 1 of Faith in Action, the book that we're reading right now. And the Faith in Action celebration is something that we do once a year here at Unity of Tacoma. It is 7 weeks where we focus on a topic and a theme and a book. And we have a bunch of different colors each week. Like this week is violet. And then we have affirmations that we share with each other. And then we meet for a book study. So again, if you're interested in being part of any of this, you can contact me at lori@unityoftacoma.org. And I would be happy to send you the workbook for the book study and to tell you when we meet. We meet on Mondays, and I can give you a link to that Zoom. So I'm really excited about that. The book that we are reading this time during Faith in Action is Understanding Your Soul, The Channeled Wisdom of Jesus by Christine Bush. So today we're going to be looking at introduction and chapter 1. And just a little bit of each. I'm not going to go like read the whole thing, but I'm going to take a couple excerpts and we're going to be talking about those. So I do want to share, though, you can see behind me that I have the art installment from Denise. And it is a beautiful thing. And I just want to really bring it up and get me out of the picture. So hold on one second. Like I said, my slides are clunky today, and that's pretty annoying. Does everybody see that? All right. All right, so there's Denise's picture. It's beautiful. I love it. And you know, the interesting thing is that I had not talked to her about the topic really that I was going to be talking about, and about being seen and the things that are unseen being shown to us. And then she comes and then she sends this to me the other day, and I was like, that's absolutely perfect. That this picture that she painted was absolutely in line with what it was that I was focusing on today. So thank you, Denise. It's beautiful, and I really love it. And she's the one that says, let's put it in a silver frame. And I was like, perfect. So it worked out really great. So thank you so much, Denise. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm going to stop share. All right. Did everybody get to see that okay? Yes. And you can see it now that's behind me. You're going to see that throughout the service. So, all righty. Let's go to Victoria and get some announcements. Are you ready?
Ready?
All right.
Good morning, everybody. Lori just did a lot of what I was going to say, but I was going to say that we're starting Faith in Action, and this is the book that we are doing. And I'm really excited to see all the art and creativity that this is going to engender. Around that, we are having this program for 7 weeks. And during that time, on November 15th, from 10:30 to 1:30 at the Parkland Library, we're going to be having a person-to-person celebration banquet for Faith in Action. And it's going to be a potluck brunch. So we'll be reminding you as this is coming along. That will be November 15th at the Parkland Library. I just want to report that we had Saturday sandwich making yesterday, and oh my gosh, we had a great time. We had a terrific turnout, and energy was really high. We made 100 sack lunches, and we have united with a new group that I don't know a lot about yet, but we're in participation already anyway, in that they donated a whole box of freshly gleaned apples to us to send with our sack lunches. It was a whole crate of apples. And that is the Urban Farm located here in Tacoma. And we also had donations from our outreach team that makes all these sack lunches. We had bags of mandarin oranges, and we had boxes of all kinds of chips and yummies to add in to along with our sandwiches and bottled water and things that we normally provide. So bonus day, the harvest is in, and we had a great time. Our next Saturday sandwich making will be on November 1st, Saturday. The first Saturday of the month is our time to do that. We meet approximately 10:45, and we're usually done before noon. And we are located at 5401 South Tacoma Way, in the front building on the corner. So come and join us if you can. We love to have new people. We had new people yesterday, and we're growing. So that's my biggest excitement right now. And add to it if I forgot something.
Thank you. That was wonderful. I'm so glad that everything worked out wonderful yesterday. And
Yeah.
I anticipate that this program is going to continue to grow and reach more and more people, with more people that get involved and more people that learn about what we're doing. And so it's really exciting. And I thank you. And I thank Stanley and everyone involved who is working on this program. Thank you so much, Victoria, for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, let's go into our prayer. I'm going to share my screen again. Again, it's clunky. I apologize. I'm going to fix this for next week, so it's going to drive me nuts. All right, let's go back to our prayer. Oh, see, this is why it's clunky. Just a second. Sorry. So much easier to do it with a second screen. All right, does everybody see that? All right, let's say the prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. What a wonderful idea to take with us as we move into this new idea, this new concept of channeling Jesus in our lives as we go through faith in action. So let's just take a moment to do that right now. Let's take a moment to get into prayer, and a prayer in a different way, in a way that we may not have experienced before. And just take a breath. Let's settle in. And even though the silence at first feels uncomfortable, like we're not sure what we're supposed to be doing, what are we supposed to be thinking, what are we supposed to be moving forward into, but that's not the point of this. The point of this is just to relax into it, to feel into this moment. Feel beyond the physical form. And listen to the still small voice. We're so busy with our day-to-day lives. So much information, sensory information. We hear things, we see things, we feel things. But moving away from the body and going into our hearts and touching that soul space that's within us. That's what we're connecting with today. We're allowing Spirit to work through us, to express through us, to expand through us. And as we go into the message today, we're open, we're receptive, and we're available for what needs to be heard. And then we're ready to help our soul expand by allowing and by seeking out opportunities to grow. We can learn, we can express, we can create. We are infinite beings. And so it is. Amen. All right. So our affirmation for today, again, I have to pull up clunky slides, guys. Sorry about that. Now, I wanted to share this because I thought this was so cute that all of us are represented on the screen. All of the people that have been at the service or at a service in the last couple of weeks, I have added their names to our affirmation slide. So if you are interested in being part of this conglomeration of spirit and soul here, and you would like your name on the affirmation slide, please let me know. You can email me at lori@unityoftacoma.org and let me know that you would like your name added, and I would be happy to add your name to the slide. So our affirmation for today is, my soul is always expanding into greater love, and in that expansion, I connect more deeply with kindred souls. So let's say that together. My soul is always expanding into greater love, and in that expansion, I connect more deeply with kindred souls. Okay. I still have everyone, don't I? Can someone open their mic and say yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I just got a message that says that Zoom crashed for me. I was like, I think I'm still here. Okay, thank you. All right, so I have two readings today from the book that we are reading. We are reading Understanding Your Soul, The Channeled Wisdom of Jesus by Christine Bush. And she is an author, and it's published through Unity headquarters. So you can go to Unity headquarters to purchase your book. You can purchase it on Amazon or any other bookseller. But I'm going to take an excerpt from the introduction and an excerpt from chapter 1, and I'm going to be talking about both of those today. So the first excerpt from book is from the introduction from the book. And it reads, know that your soul, your spirit is eternal. Know that it existed far before the current life and will continue to exist after this. Know that your soul is pure energy. It has no physical substance. It cannot be seen. It can only be felt. It takes practice, awareness, and trust to feel what your soul is telling you. Your soul does not speak through your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is wonderful at processing and interpreting your physical reality, but it is incapable of fully understanding spiritual reality. So I'd like you to hold on to that as I move into chapter 1 and the excerpt I'm going to read there. So your soul is on a quest to expand its energy. That quest may take many forms. When your soul is on our plane with us, there are many opportunities to expand. A soul has sole discretion over how it wishes to pursue a path of expansion. No one directs its path. No one decides what another soul should do. Each soul possesses that power and has the knowledge to decide what steps it wishes to take on its path of expansion. And so those readings are from the book in the introduction and chapter 1, which is part of our discussion this week when we're talking about faith in action and when we're going to be meeting online on Monday. So when we talk about these things, I want to give you a little idea of what the author is talking about and what she is doing. And the interesting thing about this book, it's about channeling. And if you're unfamiliar with channeling, it is something that you may or may not have heard of, or maybe you've heard of in a way that is different than what I'm going to explain to you. But Cynthia Bush, who is her name Cynthia? Christine, right? I'm going back up. Christine, thank you. Christine Bush is channeling the wisdom of Jesus. And channeling means, according to the Noetic Institute of Noetic Sciences, channeling is the process of revealing information and energy not limited to by or our conventional notions of space and time that can appear receptive and expressive. So that seems like a really bulky scientific explanation for channeling. But if you go to the dictionary gives you a different definition. It is the practice of entering a meditative trance-like state in order to convey messages from a spiritual guide. So in these instances, the author is stepping into a trance-like state and conveying messages from a spiritual guide. And in this case, it is the collective consciousness, the collective wisdom that she calls, and they call themselves, Jesus. So in both definitions of channeling, it involves tapping into something that's beyond our physical selves. So it asks us to have what's called a mystical experience. How many of you had mystical experiences that you can remember? Yeah, sometimes they're fleeting. Sometimes they come on and like, wow, what was that? And sometimes you're in meditation or something else, and then you're like, wow, that was awesome. And so they are mystical experiences. And the psychologist William James talked about mystical experiences, and there are 4 different criteria to let you know when you're getting into these states. And they're going to be really important because we're going to be working on those over the next 7 weeks about getting into that trance-like state and then being able to hear and feel the wisdom of Jesus or the wisdom of your spiritual guide. So the interesting thing about what I did this time with Faith in Action is we usually take a symbol, and each week had a symbol based on what it was that I decided the symbol would be. In this case, I did not choose symbols for you. I didn't choose symbols because I wanted you to discern, to bring in the information that was important to you, because symbolism is different for each and every person. So for me, it may be angel wings, like you saw when we were when you saw all the affirmations, and that was my idea of the soul's expansion with the angel wings. But for you, it may mean something else. So I didn't choose symbols. So each artist is choosing a symbol that means something to them. When you see them each and every week, we'll have a new artist each week. So you'll see what is it that this is speaking into them and into that art that they do. So I did not give them symbols this time. I didn't even give them colors this time. I chose the colors for what we're going to be talking about and in the background and the things that I wear and what we're going to be wearing on Sunday. But the colors it's up to them to decide what is spirit speaking to them. And it's interesting because, this Denise's background here, her painting has a lot of purple in it. And so that was really cool how that works together. So when we're in these trance-like states and we're bringing in this information, so when we were in prayer, that was the beginning of a trance-like state. Sometimes it takes a while to get there. Sometimes it doesn't even need a meditation, it just happens. So you could be walking out in the world and taking a walk out into nature, and all of a sudden you feel this transcendence, so the beyond, the world is so big and it's so expansive and so beautiful, and you have this moment of awe. That is also a mystical experience. So William James, though, he said that when we talk about this, and this is why I'm kind of struggling with it, is when we talk about mystical experiences, it's really hard to explain. So if you've ever had a mystical experiences, you know that you've had this beautiful transcendent experience, but you can't really put it into words because words can't really translate what you experienced. So you can give them an idea. Oh, I felt awe, or I felt, that everything was so big and large, but you can't really explain what it felt like. It is ineffable. That's what he said, that what makes a mystical experience mystical is that you cannot really explain it with words. Mystical experiences are also transient. You can't hold on to them forever. And that's the sad thing. And it's also a wonderful thing too, because then it becomes kind of a little gift every time it happens. So you can't hold on to it forever, but you can hold on to it for a little while. Like I said, sometimes they come in and then they go, and you're like, oh, come back. And then, or you're in meditation, you can have them for 5-10 minutes. But I tell you that there is no guru, no sage that I've read about that knew how to keep this prolonged mystical experience. It was Teresa of Avila would said, I can hold on to it, but no more than 10 minutes. It's there and gone. So they're very transient, and they come and they go. Now, also, mystical experiences can be passive. So they can happen to you, like I said, while you're walking in the woods, or you're producing an art piece, or you listen to beautiful music, and all of a sudden you feel this transcendent experience, and you don't have to do anything to get them. However, there are things you can do that increase the likelihood that you're going to do that, and that is things like meditation and prayer and yoga and listening to music and things like that can bring on those wonderful experiences. And finally, William James said that they were noetic in quality. So when we talk about noetic in quality, then we mean that it is passing on a knowing. It's passing on information. So when we're in these transient states, these mystical experiences, we are getting knowledge, some kind of information that we need to hear or to use or to experience in our lives. So it is a knowledge, it's a knowing. And if anybody's ever had a mystical experience, and you've ever talked about with somebody, and again, difficult to explain in words, is you're like, I just know that was true. You can't really explain why there's no facts behind it. There's nothing to really support it other than the fact that you just know that truth is the truth. And there is nobody or nothing else that can tell you different, because it is given, this knowledge was given to you that transcended your physical experience, transcended our reality, our physical reality, and it was beyond something that you can't really explain. So you just know. So that noetic quality is really important when you're looking for these noetic experiences, or these mystical experiences. So the author of the book, when she wrote this book and she was getting ready, she is a trance medium, or somebody who goes into a trance and goes into a channeling state. That's what they call those individuals. And they're receiving an information from a collective consciousness. So when you go into these trance-like states and you start getting this information, you're getting it from information that is outside your physical realm. It is not coming from your body. It's not coming from your brain. It's not even coming from your physical reality. It's coming from outside the physical realm, outside of clock time. It is transcendent, it is infinite, it is beyond what we can explain. And so she's tapping into this information. And she tapped into the collective energy that is named, that prefers the name of Jesus. And Jesus, not the man, not the person, the individual who is here on earth, but the collective energy of the wisdom of Jesus is what she's tapping into. So the wisdom that Jesus had on earth was limited, like we have. We have limited understanding because we're stuck in the physical realm. We don't have the ability to move beyond ourselves unless we are intentional. And we know that Jesus did a lot of prayer. He was in meditation a lot, and he was in connection with God and the beyondness of the physical realm. So he already had a step in to that expansive consciousness. He had already had that bridge, and we can connect. We can also have that bridge in this physical realm, but we still are stuck in our human bodies. We still have the things that we have to deal with in our human experience. So, but she steps in when you get into this channeling state, when you are in meditation, you are looking for going beyond the physical and tapping into that consciousness. So I want to take a moment again right now for everybody to stop and take a breath. Just let it out and allow yourself to just kind of dissolve. Kind of feel your body getting less and less physical. Your body is kind of dissolving. If you're old school like me and you had an old style TV, and you remember when it started to get off the station, and you started getting the little lines and the waves, and it started to pixelate, where you started to look like you were all grainy. I want you to kind of think that, your body is kind of starting to it's not an unsafe thing to do, because your body is not actually dissipating, but you can do that in your mind's eye and start to let go of your physical realm and to step into this consciousness that is beyond you. So just do that for just a moment and just let go. You can even let go of my words if you want. And just allow yourself to get into a space. Now, this space may feel a little weird, but did you know that the word weird comes from the Old English word weird, which is spelled W-Y-R-D, and it means destiny or fate. So if things start to feel a little weird, then just think of it as being part of your destiny or where you're supposed to be. So perhaps you're in the right place right now, doing the right thing, even though it seems a little weird. So we're going to explore the truth, not the truth that we are told, but the truth that we experience, that knowing, that noeticness that I was talking about. Not the kind that takes us every day through our day, where it goes through our shopping lists and our work lists and all of the things that we have to do on our tasks every day. That's the physical realm. We don't have to think about that right now. Right now, we're taking a trip. We're going on a journey. And we're going to learn more about our eternal, invisible, and energy being self. That self that taps into in the book throughout the time as she is channeling the collective energy of Jesus. So let's talk a little bit about the excerpt that I pulled out in the introduction. The first part of it says, know that your soul, your spirit is eternal. Know that it exists far before this current life, and it will continue to exist after. So everything that we know in our physical world begins and ends. We know that. Flowers bloom and then they wither at the end of the season. Children grow, they grow up, they change, they move on, they have their own children, and the cycle of life continues. Our bodies are marvelous, beautiful things, but they have a finite timeline. Everything happens, and then at some point it ends. But our souls, our true essence, does not end. It's not bound by our birth or our death. It is not limited to the name that we call ourselves or our memories that we've accumulated or how old we are. It existed before we came into this life, and it will continue on after. Now think about that. That we are infinite in our consciousness. That despite the vehicle that we're in right now that we call our human bodies, we will live on after this body. Now, everybody thinks that we talk about, when Jesus talked about that, he talked about that as we all go to heaven, right? But heaven, in his words, were different than what heaven means to what people think it is today. He was talking about the non-duality of heaven. The fact that we are never away from it, that it is always here. It is an expanse that's beyond our physical realm, and that we are always in it. We're like fish swimming in the water. We don't always notice that the water is there, but it's always there. So we are not our bodies. We are not the clothes that we are wearing. We are not the personalities that we've taken on. Those are like clothes that we've decided to put on. They're garments, masks that we wear. It's a role that we're playing in this physical realm. We decide. At some point, our consciousness said, well, you know what? I think Lori looks like a really cool thing to do for, 100 years. Let's go do that for a while. Or Victoria, or Sharon, or whatever it decided to do. And it decided to do all the things that you've experienced in your life. And you're like, sometimes you're like, what? Why did Spirit decide to do that through me? But, for some reason, Spirit decided to do that through you. So you began way before, and you will continue on way after. So that is promising and hopeful and kind of exciting, actually, because it gives us more options than the feeling of this is it. This isn't it. This is now, but this isn't the end. So let's go on to the next thing she talks about, or Jesus and she and the expansion talks about. Says that know that your soul is pure energy. It has no physical substance. It cannot be seen. It can only be felt. It takes practice, awareness, and trust to feel what your soul is telling you. So it's energy. It's something we tap into, kind of like Wi-Fi. When we turn our Wi-Fi on at our house and we're getting our internet through our computers, we're kind of tapping into that Wi-Fi, that consciousness that's beyond us. We can't see it. We can't feel it, but we know it's there. It's the way that I'm communicating with you right now, the Wi-Fi. But it's there, even though we can't see it. We are completely obsessed in this world with what we see. We think everything that we see and hear and learn is absolutely real. But some of the most powerful forces that we have in this world are beyond our senses. Well, most of our senses, like especially our sight. So gravity. Yeah, we feel it, but we take it for granted. We don't notice it. Magnetism, radio waves, Wi-Fi, the energy that keeps our heart beating. Where does that come from? And our thoughts. Where do they come from? Do they come from our mind? Do they come from beyond our mind? That's a conversation we can have for another day. The soul is like that beyond the physical. It's energy, it's pure, it's unbound. It is energy that is shimmering and always there. It can't be seen with our eyes, but it can be felt with our awareness. We are focusing on what's beyond our physical realm. And when we do that, it's like learning a new language. We're stepping into an area where we're not using our senses. We're learning a new language. We're learning how to play a new instrument, for example. So let's say that we are using parts of our body, our intuition, our nudges, our way of feeling without actually physically feeling. We're learning, we're discerning. We slow down and we listen inwardly, not to what's happening around us, but what's coming from us. We are not listening to what our brains are saying. We're listening to what our heart is saying. Our soul is always communicating with us, not in language or in English or whatever language that you speak, not in words, not even in thoughts. It speaks in energy, in resonance, in intuition, all of those things that we kind of poo-poo. It's like, oh, that intuition, I don't really pay attention to that. That doesn't happen to us. It does happen to us. Instinct, all of those things happen to us. We are animals. We're just higher life forms, but we still have bodies. We still have all of those things that help us to discern the energy that's around us. Our conscious minds are translators of this information, and it takes our sensory data that we experience and it creates a model of our world. So when our senses tell us that we see or hear or feel something with our hands or with our bodies, it is the physical that we're feeling. But if we didn't have those senses, then we don't feel that. If you ever read the book by Jill Bolte Taylor, when she talked about when she had a stroke, her stroke of insight is what I think that's the name of the book. And she talks about when she lost that part of her brain that was reason, the logic part of her brain, and how she felt like she was dissolving, like she had no boundary between herself and the world. And she was connected with all things. And how even today, now that she's gained that part of her brain back where she has logic again, she still cultivates that part of her brain where she continues to connect. So there is a part of our brain that is specifically designed to connect with that consciousness. We just need to tap into that. We need to allow that dissolving to happen, to allow the boundaries to get thin and to be transliminal so we can share energy with all things. So we go in from this thinking that we do all the time, and we're human beings, and that is our thing. We love to think, and we have opinions, and then we have language that expresses what it is that we want to say. But we're invited to step beyond that, to step away from our judgment, to step away from our thinking, to step away from our knowledge, to invite ourselves to step into an experience that is beyond our physical. We trust it, we allow it, we know it is safe and welcoming and wonderful. And that is exactly what we're being pulled and called to do. And so in the next chapter, the author continues to talk about the soul's expansion. So not only does it work through us and uses our bodies as a vessel, as a way to move around in the world, but it also through us allows expansion, because we feed that consciousness with what it is that we learn here, what we experience. We are feeding it with all the beauty of our human experience. So in the chapter, it reads, your soul is on a quest to expand its energy. That quest may take many forms. When your soul is on our plane with us, and I say that on our plane, AUR, because we're talking about the collective consciousness. So I'm going back to the reading. When your soul is on our plane with us, there are many opportunities to expand. A soul has sole discretion over how it wishes to pursue a path of expansion. No one directs this path. No one decides what another soul should do. Each soul possesses the power and has the knowledge to decide what steps it wishes to take on its path of expansion. That's kind of an interesting thought, isn't it? That we are not really doing anything with anything other than allowing. So our soul is eternal energy. Why is it here in this body, in this time? That's for us to figure out. And according to this idea, this wisdom, it's because our soul is on a quest. It has an agenda, not a quest for, the things that we accumulate in this world. So like trophies or approval, but it's in a quest to expand its own energy. So it's there to collect energy as it moves. So as it moves through us, is collecting more energy. So think of a musician that's learning a new song. So it's as the musician learns the song, it's expanding its knowledge. The person's knowledge in the music is expanded, and then the music becomes expanded. Or think of a tree whose roots are going way down deep. And then the deeper it goes and the more it expands, the more it communicates with the other trees. And then it feeds upon all of the nutrients from the soil, all of that. As it expands, it continues to expand. And as it expands down, it expands up. So you can see that everything in this world radiates, it expands. A star expands, a flower expands, a leaf expands. Energy continues to expand. And so it makes sense that our consciousness is here. Our soul's consciousness is here to expand. And no one else, not even the greatest spiritual teacher on this earth, can tell anyone what their soul path is. As insightful as I believe that I am, I can't tell anyone how to experience their life. And that's what I like about being a spiritual director. As a spiritual director, or a spiritual companion is also what they're called, is someone who walks with another person on their spiritual journey. And it doesn't mean that I am teaching them or training them to do anything. It means that I am walking with them, encouraging, supporting, loving, helping with their energy to be able to find exactly what it is they have in their life. I can never tell them how their soul is going to expand or how their spirituality is going to unfold. That is not my job. It is not what I'm supposed to do on this planet. And it's not goes beyond what I do in spiritual direction, because we think that we can give advice. Maybe we can do some coaching or mentoring, but in the end, it is not about us. It's not about what we think. It's not about what we experience. It's not about our lives, how our lives have gone, how our lives have unfolded. They have their own soul's expansion that is coming through them and expanding through them as them. And there is really not much we can do about that. We can support them. We can love them. We can journey with them. We can provide experiences with them, but we can't change how they're going to expand. We can only support how they're going to be in this world the best that they can be. So I'm not saying that we say that everything that they do is right. And that's, of course, we can see that in the world today. There are lots of things happening in this world that are not in line with consciousness. However, it is not up to us to know how that consciousness or how that energy is going to unfold in the end. We don't know what the plan is. We know that the plan is unfolding, and we can see how it's unfolding now, but we don't know what the end is going to be like. So even though it may look like it's a struggle now, there is a greater plan. There is something bigger. And so we need to have faith and trust in this consciousness to unfold as it's supposed to, because it will come out right in the end. It always does. At some point, the balance comes back. And so even though you may feel that someone is off track and not moving in the direction, and that is the true definition of sin, when they're off track and not going in their soul's direction, just remember the soul has an agenda and will work through them in a way that is the best for the circumstances, and we need to be okay with that. And so the book really goes into the fact that we are all on our individual soul's journey. And when we are on the soul's journey, we are only on the journey that we have. We only have the experience of consciousness moving through us. And it's our brains and our bodies that create judgment and hate and fear and all of those things, because beyond that, beyond the physical, there is only love. There's only that consciousness that is always there. And so dropping away from the physical, all of the things that the thoughts, the ideas, the judgments, the knowledge that we think that we have, let's just drop away from that and trust. Trust in the process that the soul is moving through us in the way that it's supposed to. And in the book, it talks about that we've decided that this is, before we even get here, that we've decided this as a way of experiencing this life. So whatever's happening is unfolding for a reason. We just don't know yet. And we have to trust in the process and keep connecting. I'm not saying that you should just let go of the wheel, let Jesus take the wheel. I'm not saying that at all. I am saying that you should let go and see what's unfolding. So you can see where you should be going. You can hear the advice. You can feel the emotion. You can get that noetic aspect into it, and just know the truth of where you're going. And that is what is meant when we're talking about the soul's expansion, to tap into the idea that the soul is always growing, always expanding, always moving. And we can tap into that all the time. I always think of it as flowing water. We can go with the flow, we can try to swim upstream, but it's always easier to go with the flow. So go with it, move with it, tap into it. So how can you do that? Here's some things that I was thinking about yesterday that I try to do each day, and you can take it as advice, or you can take it as wisdom, or you can take it as just something that I said. So first, you can start in the morning when you first wake up. And before you reach for your phone, I have to be very intentional for this because I always reach for my phone. That's the first thing I do. You place your hand on your heart. Everybody do that right now. Place your hand on your heart. And ask yourself, okay, where am I supposed to be right now? What am I supposed to be tapping into? What part of my soul is trying to speak to me right now? And then listen. Listen for what is trying to be said. What is that knowledge, that knowing without words that is being transferred to you through your consciousness? And you can do that right away. And if you do that in the morning, can you imagine you're opening the valve? You're allowing that water to flow. And so you just go with it the rest of the day. And you just allow and you experience that from a place of trust and openness and love. Start your day off that way. And you need to remember, and I always say this, practice, 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 practice. Spirituality is a practice. It is not something that we perfect. It is something we continue. So practice your meditation. Practice moving beyond your thoughts, beyond your mind. Continuing to expand. Expand beyond who you are in this physical realm. Who are you beyond who you are sitting here? That's what you want to tap into. And so do this through meditation, through prayer, whatever gets you to that state of transcendent, that mystical experience where you're having that moment of, that's what you want to get into, even if it's for a few minutes, because that's when you tap into that consciousness. Another thing you need to do is trust in the path of others. So if the soul has sole discretion over what happens in their individual experiences, so you don't have to fix anybody. And that's really hard. I'm a parent. I am constantly reminded that I don't have to fix them. Even though I might be thinking, wow, okay, it's not my job to fix them because their soul is expanding through them in a way that's just for them. And it's not up to me. I was there to provide safety and all the things that they need to grow up. And now that they're adults, they have their soul's expansion and it is coming through them as them. And that is what I need to be aware of. And each and every person in this world is the same, expanding in their own way. And whatever happens in their own way is the way that it's supposed to be. And we're all a collective. We are all part of the one expansion. So even though this person may be going down a path that you do not agree with, at some point that soul expansion touches onto yours anyway, beyond the physical, beyond what's happening in this world. So have faith that no matter what this person is doing, no matter whether or not you think you need to fix them, honor their autonomy, take a breath, and say, soul is working through them in a way that needs to be worked, and I need to have faith in that. And finally, you need to remember that surrendering means that you're surrendering to your own unfolding. Your soul already knows why you're here. So you need to let go and let God. And I know that seems really cliche-ish, but it's true. Let go. Allow spirit to move you, your soul to guide you, and to just have faith in that. Because we're part of this eternal energy, this eternal space, and how we are on this life is uniquely expressed through us. And so we need to have faith that we are doing the right thing. And we can get better at it the more we connect with it. So maybe we can then begin to be more present, argue less, listen more, maybe judge less, be open more, be less fearful, and love more, maybe. And maybe that's the entire point. Maybe that's why we're here to begin with. Because our soul is not bound by clock time. It does not bound by the mistakes that we make as human beings. It's not bound by the story that we've created for ourselves. All of that is temporary. We were here before and will be here beyond our physical form. All of that is part of what we're supposed to learn on this plane of existence and to help the soul to expand. We are eternal beings, pure energy. We are invisible in a physical form, and we're on a journey for expansion, and that's the whole point. And so when we go back to the word weird, and I said weird means it's our destiny, right? The more you remember, the more that your energy expands, and the remembering of who you are is an expansion of yourself. So today, I'd like you to remember. May you feel that energy that's with you all the time, that soul that is with you. Allow yourself to hear those nudges, that wisdom, and that allow it to be part of the timing of your day. And allow yourself to release the urge to control other people. And hope that you are open to the expansion of each and every moment, because that is why we're here, to expand our consciousness beyond who we are. Because we are eternal, we are pure energy, and we are here for that purpose. And our soul definitely knows the way it's going, even if we don't. All right, so I want to thank everybody for listening to my ramblings. I want to go into our meditation. And so I'm going to put up my clunky slide again. Let me see if I can do this. And share the screen, get into a space of meditation, whatever that looks like for you. Let's begin by taking a deep breath in and slowly letting it out. Okay, let's try that again. Sorry, guys. Looks like I'm not as... Oh, these slides are driving me nuts. Okay. Let's begin by taking a deep breath in and slowly letting it out. Again, inhale deeply and exhale fully. Allow your body to soften, your shoulders to drop, and your jaw to unclench. Allow yourself to arrive here in this present moment. Feel the support beneath you, the steadiness of the ground, the invitation to simply rest. Bring your awareness to your body. Notice the rhythm of your breath. Notice the gentle rising and falling of your chest. Feel your heart beating in your chest. Always steady, always reliable, and ever present. This is your physical being, your vessel, the way your soul moves through the world. And take this moment to silently thank your body for carrying you through this life, for holding your soul, for being your home in this chapter of your journey. Now shift your attention deeper. Look beyond your body, beyond your thoughts, beyond your emotions, and imagine a subtle vibration within you. There's a presence there that's always been there. It existed before this life, and it will continue on long after. This is your soul, pure energy, eternal, unseen by the eye, but felt by the heart. Take this moment to sense this energy. It may feel that it's warm or tingling, or there's a deep stillness, or maybe it's just a simple knowing. Trust whatever arises into your consciousness. You see, your conscious mind is clever and it's capable, but your soul speaks a different language. It doesn't speak in words or logic. It speaks in resonance, in intuition, and in quiet nudges. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, invite yourself to listen inwardly. And ask your soul, what do you want me to know in this moment? And then be still. Allow any feelings, images, or sensations to come. There is no right or wrong here, just listening. Your soul is on a quest to expand its energy. It learns, it stretches, it shines. It chooses its own path of growth. And as you breathe, imagine your soul as a radiant light within you. With every breath, this light expands, reaching beyond your body, beyond the room, beyond space and time. Feel this light filling you with love, with wisdom, and with freedom. Notice how natural it feels to expand in this way. Notice how limitless your energy truly is. And as you're sitting in this awareness of expansion, bring to mind a challenge or a situation in your life right now. And see it gently held within your soul's light. Remember, your conscious mind may struggle to understand, but your soul already knows how to grow through this. Your soul is guiding you. Trust its wisdom. Trust its timing. Trust its expansion. Just take a breath and let go of the need to control. Surrender this challenge into the light of your eternal self and release it into the care of your soul. Now continue to expand your awareness outward. Imagine all beings as souls, each one pure energy, each one is eternal, each one on a quest of expansion. See their lights glowing. Some are bright, some are dim, some are flickering. Each one exactly where it needs to be right now. And just take a moment to silently bless them. May your soul expand. May your path unfold. May your light shine. And feel that true expression of unity. The great symphony of our souls expanding together. And as we move closer to the end of this meditation, slowly bring your attention back to your own light, glowing gently inside of you. Know that this light is always with you. It always has been, and it always will be. And as you bring your conscious awareness back into this space, allow yourself to hold on to that awareness of this light within you, this energy that's always expanding through you. Take a deep breath in and slowly release it. Feel yourself returning to your normal consciousness, returning to the room that you're in, and returning to clock time. Take another deep breath in. And as you release it, you can gently open your eyes and carry with you this idea, this remembrance that you are eternal. You are energy. You are on a sacred quest of expansion, and your soul knows the way. And so it is. I'd like you to take just a moment to take a breath. And as we move into, I'll change my glasses so I can actually see what I'm doing. As we move in from meditation to the end of our service today, I'd like to close with a blessing. May you walk in a quiet knowing that you are more than you are in this moment, more than your body, more than this lifetime even. May your light shine through your eternal soul and remind you that you are never lost, never separate, never alone. Know that your path is always unfolding in front of you in perfect timing. It is guided by the wisdom of the lives that is lived before and after, that consciousness that expands always. It is beyond thought. May you trust in this unseen energy and allow it to carry you through this expansion and allow you to carry yourself to peace. And remember that you are always loved, that you are pure energy, and you are part of that everlasting light. Go in peace, shine as the beautiful soul that you are. And so it is. Amen. I want to thank you. And when you are ready,